Hi everyone, welcome back. So a lot has changed since the last time that I uploaded a video, and it's taken me quite a while to get my head around exactly what I wanted to say about the situation. It's something that's really kind of close to my heart. It's something that is very dear to my heart, and you obviously know from whatever I've called this video that I'm going to be talking about racism and George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and everything that goes along with that. So I'm going to be keeping it quite specific, just to what we can do about this and my kind of thoughts on that. I don't want to go too far into the story of what actually happened, because everyone knows by now. It's horrific, upsetting, it's just devastating, and my words can't even express the grief that has been felt by so many. And you know, we all know that it's not the first, second, third, fourth time that this kind of thing has happened, so yeah. But that has sparked a massive it's become a catalyst for the Black Lives Matter movement to just soar, and that is a positive result that's come off the back of something that is just so horrific. So I just want to address basically my white passing followers and just discuss a little bit about what we can do to help. If you have any suggestions or anything to say about anything I've said in this video, I'm not 100% the voice of authority in this topic, of course, but because I wanted to make a video about people doing whatever they can and speaking out against racism when they see it, etc., I felt like I couldn't put off making this video because I was scared of saying the wrong thing. I just thought that was completely like the opposite of what I'm trying to do with this video. So for those of you who don't know, I am mixed race. I'm mixed white British and black Caribbean. My dad is black Caribbean, my mum's white British, and because I'm pretty white passing most of the time, I haven't experienced any, that I can think of, any kind of overt racism in my life. I may have experienced some like subconscious racism coming from places, but I don't know, I really don't. So I am not a person who knows firsthand what the prejudice is like, but I have, you know, one black parent, I have aunties, uncles and cousins that are black, and I know have experienced racism. So it is something that is really important to me, and it just hits incredibly close to home. Some of my family are in the US as well, which, yeah, I'm just trying to support my auntie over there as much as I can, but it is quite difficult to know what to say a lot of the time. So I wanted to talk primarily about being anti-racist. Now, to me, being anti-racist is different to not being a racist. There's a really interesting book called How to Be an Anti-Racist. It's by Dr. Ibram Kendi. There's also a talk with him which I'll link down below where he discusses quite a lot of the ideas. So in terms of being an anti-racist versus not being a racist, obviously people like to say, you know, oh, I'm not part of the problem, I'm not a racist. And that kind of fails to take into account that racism is so ingrained within everyone, myself included. And in black people as well, you know, racism is so prevalent in society, and he talks more about that in the video that I'll link, that it's kind of a bit ignorant, to be honest, to say I'm not part of the problem because I'm not a racist. And the fact is that everyone has, the vast majority of people have automatic racist thoughts in their head, whether they're more conscious racist thoughts or subconscious. They are there. So what we really need to do is acknowledge them and dissect them, wonder where they come from, and learn about where they come from, and challenge them within our own minds. And I also think, personally, that a big part of being actively anti-racist is about taking a bit more of a broader reaching and active responsibility in the fight against racism. And that comes from, calling people out when they make racist jokes. If you see a racist post online, comment on it. Let people know that it's not okay to be racist and be so open about it. Let people know that there is nowhere on earth that's a safe space for racism, whether it's online or in person. And the more that racists get called out, even if they don't turn around on the spot and say, oh yeah, I agree with you, most people aren't going to do that, let's face it. But even if they don't, you still let them know that it's not acceptable to voice that and perpetuate that kind of, mindset and behaviour. It's just something that really, it's just so important for people that think, they sit and say, I'm a good person, but don't challenge those ideas out of fear. But those ideas, they need to be challenged, they really do. And I would implore people, as much as you can, if it's safe to do so, to challenge any racist remarks or ideas that you come across. One really good example from, well, not from my life, but people I know, in the non-racist versus anti-racist thing is actually my mum. I really hope that she doesn't mind me telling this story, but it does shed her in a good light, so I'm sure she won't. When we lived in the house that I grew up in, it was a very white neighbourhood. I think from what I can remember, all surrounding us, I think we were the only mixed family. So one day the BNP decided to come around. Now, if you're British, you will know who I'm talking about. It's the British National Party, basically just a racist party. It's kind of like probably a worse version of UKIP, to be honest. They're not really a thing anymore, but they were a thing then. Anyway, racist, horrible, nasty party, and they were leafleting through people's doors. And someone who says, oh, I'm not a racist, would probably get that leaflet and just put it in the recycling bin. Whereas my mum, being an anti-racist, she got the leaflet and she marched outside to Nick Griffin, disgusting man, and all his big, horrible, burly, bodyguard types, and she just threw it back at him and said, you can take that back. And and I think, I don't know how he reacted. I think he, from what she said, what I remember, I think he was just kind of like a bit shocked that this like pretty short woman was like marching out the house and throwing his thing back, because she said like she just felt she needed to take a stand, because he was probably thinking, oh, this is a whiter than white neighbourhood, I'm going to be welcome here, and he would have completely assumed that that area was ripe for the picking in terms of furthering his agenda, and that's just not okay. And I love that story. It's just like, because it seems like a fairly little thing, but it does take a lot of courage to actually, she was on her own in the house, like she was on her own, and to walk up to these big, like big guys, and when she walked up to Nick, all these bodyguard men like started walking over, like, it's like, what are you gonna do? Anyway, didn't do anything. That was just a small triumph. So yeah, I love that story. I just think it's brilliant. But that's kind of a perfect example of letting people know you are not welcome, rather than just staying silent. Because if my mum hadn't done that, he could have leafleted and gone home and thought, oh, that was a good day. I bet we've got like loads of supporters in that, in that white neighbourhood. That day, when he went home, he probably thought, oh, that was a bit crap. Yeah, maybe that wasn't as easy as I thought. Maybe we're not as welcome as I thought. And just because a neighbourhood is, seems white, doesn't mean that they're all racists. and that they all will, you know, just sit back and lap up whatever bullshit I put through their letterbox. That was a really disgusting... That was such a disgusting image, I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, basically what I wanted to say was just... we all just need to really band together and be more active in our pursuit of a fairer society and a more equal society. And I think as well with witchy people, like Kellyanne Maddox said actually in her recent video, she was talking about how witches tend to, and spiritually folks tend to not talk about these issues because they're difficult issues. They, you know, lower your vibes and they this, that and the other. But I feel like if we are strong within our power as witches, as witchy people, as pagans, as whatever, if we, you know, we're always talking about how much power we have, so why don't we just use it to actually achieve something that is, you know, really important? And I've seen a lot of, you know, group spell work and all that kind of thing being done by witches, which I think is just absolutely awesome. I just think it's perfect and I am all here for it. I love it. But I just think we can do a bit more, and we can do it on an individual level as well, you know, off our own backs. And as witches, we know how to ground ourselves, we know how to meditate, we know how to protect ourselves and, you know, cut through the bullshit and just do what needs to be done. So that is, you know, that's perfect practice for something like this. And I'm holding myself accountable too. I have not done enough. I really haven't. And this video is for me to hold myself responsible. It's to, you know, create accountability. Yeah, from now on I am going to make more of a conscious effort to have a positive impact on real world issues and to do research into Black Caribbean culture. I've not done enough, nowhere near enough. Sorry, my camera ran out of juice then, so if I look a bit skew-whiff, that's why. There we go. So another thing that I wanted to say is that if you feel really compelled to be an activist and, you know, share posts, create videos, go to events and all that amazing stuff, I will say I have a fair bit of experience in activism, and I think it's very important to bear witness to suffering and to see what's going on in the world in order to give you that drive to fight it. But I will say that too much exposure to intense, you know, I'm talking graphic images and videos and things, too much exposure to that can have the opposite effect and lead you to have a complete burnout. And that's not healthy mentally. And it's just really, really bad, and it'll honestly cut your stamina short and not be able to carry on with the activism that is so important to you. So as important as I think it is to bear witness, I would also suggest, for example, going with racism as, you know, a cause, I would say make yourself aware of what's happening, you know, what needs fighting, etc. But also surround yourself with positives from the cause that you're going for. So, you know, follow Black artists, Black musicians, Black content creators, and keep a bit of a balance. And if you need a little bit of a break, give yourself a break, because it is very, very draining. And it's so tempting to think, well, you know, African Americans don't get a break. Well, you know, this particular group don't get a break from oppression. And it's true. But you will serve people a lot better if you can carry on for a longer period of time, taking small breaks, you know, more so than if you go hell for leather for, you know, a few months and then just completely have a mental breakdown because you've been bombarding yourself with, you know, videos of people being murdered by police. It's important to, you know, I've not watched the George Floyd video, I just can't. I've seen pictures and that is enough. So just know what your own limits are, give yourself a break, and then pick yourself back up and start again. That's all I would say.
Editing Rosie here. So sorry about the quality of everything. But I just wanted to also add that in addition to supporting black artists and black creators, I would also say actively stop supporting people that have made racist remarks, be that within politics, be that with your money. You know, don't support companies where the CEO is a racist piece of trash. Don't support companies like Dolls Kill, who have tops that say goth is white. Make people and companies know that it's bad for their business and bad for their wallets to perpetuate racist ideas. Yeah, anyway, get back to the video where you can actually see me.
I do think it is so important to... The one thing I want people to take from this video is to call out racism when they see it. If everyone who claimed not to be a racist called out every racist joke, every racist post that they saw, the world would feel a lot less of a safe space for racists. And that is what I want you to take from this video. If you've got any more comments, please let me know in the comments. My God, I'm so not with it today. Oh gosh, it's a difficult time for so yeah, if you've got any more comments, just let me know down below, and I'll link as many resources as I can find in the description. And I think that is pretty much everything. Yep, so I'll be making a few more videos on different topics related to this, but I'll also interweave it with my other content as well, because I don't want it to just be a flash in the pan and, you know, I talk about it now because it's like a trending topic and then go back to, you know, going back to not talking about it afterwards. So I want to kind of interweave this kind of content with my more witchy content, and I'm thinking of doing a few videos maybe about historical black women in the spiritual community, you know, that type of thing, black spiritual artists, you know, all that kind of thing. So if that's something you would be interested in, stay tuned. And yeah, like I say, I'll kind of weave it in and out of all my other content so that it spans a long period of time, you know, until this channel is over, which hopefully will be never. So yeah, until the day I die. Right, well, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope that's given you a bit of, you know, oomph if you needed it. And yeah, comment what you think, and I will speak to you again very soon. Okay.